We'll just do it. It's awesome. You watch. Yeah, it'd be awesome. This week on show 70 of the audio podcast, interview an original crew, Sam's back. Scott's here. We have a guest, but Adam is nowhere to be seen. We mock Apple once again. Who cares? There's a new iPhone, something like that. Dirty. And we're going to talk about iOS apps and actually lots of things on mobile platform. All that, a whole load more, but no plunder on the audio podcast. Monday the 17th of September 2012. That means it's audio podcast time. Hello, Sam.
Hello, Scott.
It's been a while.
We're back in the same room.
Both had haircuts. This is awesome. We have this week with us on show 70, interview and original crew. We have Jay Stannard. Hello, Jay.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm liking the haircut.
It's awesome stuff. So, for those people, long-time listeners, we've been teasing for a little bit online about where we are. So today, the audio podcast is brought to you courtesy of Hebden Bridge Town Hall, which we happen to be at, and hence it'd be fun to be here. So we're grateful to Hebden Bridge Council for having a yet-to-be-open hot swapping desk, which I managed to negotiate as access to a month and a half before it's open. So it's cool. We're in this beautiful conference room with high-speed fiber optic broadband. Nice.
Pretty cool.
We're happy about that. But anyway, you don't care about that. Let's get into the audio podcast stuff as always. We have Jay Stannard, who's a good friend of mine, who recently just opened up a studio in the Crewe area, and we had a bit of fun wiring it and stuff, and we thought it'd be cool to have Jay on and tell us a little bit about that. So, Jay, could you tell us a little bit about the studio space that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. This place was originally Jason Woolley's. I don't know if anybody knows Jason. He writes for some of the rock schools, does a lot of work for MMU. And he got some of the guys from the Limelight Club to come down and build it, put it together. We've got a fairly decent live room. We've got space for a good-sized kit in there, a rack of amps, clapping over, sort of bookcases, that kind of thing. And then we've got a fairly good little control room, which I'm in right now. And you've got your double glass window, so it makes a huge difference on the kind of recordings you can sit back in here and let them get on with it and play solitaire kind of thing. So, but no, it's very good. Needs a bit of a work acoustically, but as you'll know, Scott, we put a few rudimentary things up, and it's sounded pretty good so far.
Cool. So I know that you're open for recording immediately, and you'll be getting the soundproofing sorted out. This room sounds terrible, actually, doesn't it? You'll be getting the soundproof sorted out as well, though. So what kind of stuff is your speciality for recording then in the space?
Well, I do a lot of collaborations. Obviously, the space isn't huge, but you know, people come along with notebooks or lyrics, singer-songwriters, small bands, that kind of thing. Pop and rock is mainly the genre. Do a bit of jazz as well. Nothing too hardcore, but mainly people looking to collaborate. Obviously, we spend a lot of time on this side of the glass as well, so coming up with synth sounds and working with those kind of soft synths and stuff as well. So really, anything anyone wants to do, I'm quite interested in. Yeah, it's whatever you guys want to do, really.
That's awesome stuff. And so, what kind of recording, what kind of recording equipment are you working into? Am I right in thinking that it's mainly Logic that you're using at the moment?
Yeah, that's right. I used to start off with Cubasis in the early days when it was on floppy disk. I got some interesting results with that, and then it was Cubase VST. I'm running Logic at the moment. I had Pro Tools for a little while, gone back to Logic. Seems to work quite well. I had the pleasure of going into Carl Stepetic's studio in Leeds. I don't know if you guys have come across him. And he was using a really old version of Cubase, and some of the sounds he was getting out of it was just incredible. So I'm happy with Logic, and it'll keep me going for a while, I think. It's good.
That's awesome stuff. So for anybody who's kind of interested in finding out a little bit more about getting to use the studio space, or kind of getting yourself in to do some production work, is there anywhere they can look for you kind of online?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got the website at the moment, which is jwsmusic.co.uk. And that's got a little about me in the studio, that sort of thing on there. I do a lot of composing as well, as you know, so anybody wants any commissions doing that sort of thing, drop me an email. I usually have quite a quick, fast turnaround, depending on what it is. But there's a few things up on there. There's SoundCloud as well, which you can get to through the website. And if you're a Twitter user, it's at JStannard, JayStannard. I'm on there from time to time as well. So anything up there you're interested in, feel free to have a look. See what I can do.
Awesome stuff, cool. And I gather the studio has some limited availability, so if people are looking for some sort of bookings, you're in the crew sort of area, aren't you? People looking for
Yeah, it's sort of the Nantwich side of crew. Time-wise, we've got evenings and weekends at the moment, so I'm looking to free up some time next year from September. I do a lot of tutoring as well around Cheshire, around the sort of Liverpool area as well, so I'm in the school in the day. Next year, I'm going to see if I can free up a day or two a week, but certainly evenings and weekends, holidays, all that sort of thing at the moment for the time being.
Cool. Awesome stuff. Well, it's been great to have you on. It's been fun kind of helping you out with wiring up this studio space.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun with various inappropriate utensils pushing holes into walls again and
yes,
cutting out holes that have been refilled in. So that was a lot of fun, and bizarrely something I'm seeming to be spending more and more time doing. But that's for another day. So it's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot for that. For everybody who's listening to the show, you can find the show notes obviously at theaudiopodcast.co.uk/show/70, and we'll have all those links to JWS there as well. So that's cool.
Cool, thanks very much.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks a lot, Jay. I gather that you do have some commitments later on, so you're maybe going to hang out for some of the rest of the show. And,
yeah. I've probably got about a good 10 minutes or so, then I'll crack on.
And then bail as need be. Oh. Well, shall we head from the interview to the news?
Okay, so this is show 70. We haven't said the title, or maybe we do on the end, but with the original crew, we've got through that. The news, what's up first? So, this is the first of 2 stories involving iOS and Propellerhead.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Figure by Propellerhead has gained audio copy, which allows you to copy audio between applications on iOS, and also Whist, which allows you to kind of jam together by syncing apps together. Cool. It's a free update.
Oh, that's cool. So you've already got it.
Yeah.
That's very good.
So if you already have it, it's free, which I thought was a cool little feature as well. So it's nice that these kind of standards are existing and people are kind of taking them on board and stuff. Because it could have been like some sort of iOS ecosystem where you can copy between Korg apps or Propellerhead apps or Apple apps. But it's nice that this kind of universal features appeared and you can go between them all. So that's kind of cool. I haven't actually used Figure myself though. I'm just not.
Oh, well.
You know what I mean? I don't have time to play with everything anymore. You know.
And Whist has been around for quite a while, but yeah, it's good to see that it's still being taken up by people. We're sticking with Apple, and
Bing.
not anymore, Scott. Ping is dead. So this was mentioned at the Apple developer thing a little while ago when it was speculated back then.
That's awesome that you've written in the show notes Apple developer thing.
Yeah, that's how much I care about these things.
At the Apple Developer Conference, when they pre-announced the new version of iOS 6, and kind of gave away the biggest, worst-kept secret ever that there would be a new iPhone, which the new iPhone has appeared. There is a new iPhone. I don't think we care.
No, I mean, the significant thing was that the new version of iOS has integration with Facebook, which is kind of like the whole socially thing, and Ping being the supposed social side of iTunes. Its days were clearly numbered, and now they are officially over. That's it. That's the story. Wow. We've linked through to a story on the Register if you want more details. And
the Register is always a quality news source as well. Like I'm saying, their reporting is worse than ours almost. Yeah. At least we're open about our bias. Yeah. I think we should acknowledge the new iPhone exists. There isn't really anything of interest with the new iPhone. I don't think. Like it's that classic Apple hyperbole, isn't it? It's like it's smaller, it's thinner, but it's greater. It does nothing that it didn't do before. Great. I'm finding it weird knowing whether I should look at you or look at the camera. It's kind of weird. I'm going to try and look at the camera, but I occasionally glance at you. For the on-air listener, for the audio-only listeners, we're in the same room, but it's kind of weird today. Well, it's not weird. It's actually the natural way you have a conversation. And
it's strange that my headphones are bigger than yours. You usually have those enormous, great big 1970s things.
I know. Well, I wasn't carrying them to Hebden Bridge with me, was I? So. Anyway, so it turns out that Apple have a new iPhone, a social thing that nobody ever used is dead, and Facebook are somehow involved in the process, but who cares?
Do you know what's even better is the next news item is something that hasn't happened yet either. This is great
awesome.
Today.
Sure presents the Snow Patrol remix competition.
Yes they do. Except they don't. They're going to. 1st of October, there will be a competition open to remix a Snow Patrol tune. I'd started posting about this before realizing that it wasn't actually happening, so I continued and put it through.
So we've like scooped. That's awesome. It's a quality audio podcast scoop there. That's awesome stuff.
So yeah, we'll be reporting on that again when it's actually open and looking at the small print, because that's what we do with remix competitions.
Was the small print not available yet?
There was small print, but it did not pertain particularly to the remix competition.
Okay. So when it is officially released, we'll no doubt mention it again, and I will critique the small print and highlight those key moments. Oh wow, it's in like a grey print that you can barely read.
The disclaimer is nothing to do with it really. They're talking about cookies and things at the moment.
Remember, if you ever come across a disclaimer in grey print, the best approach is to highlight it with your mouse, and then it can sometimes be readable. In this case, though, no.
No, I've just tried that on my screen and made it worse.
That is terrible.
True audio podcast style here.
It's a nice logo they have, though, isn't it? I like that.
I've heard of Snow Patrol. It's not. I don't actually know what they sound like or anything like that.
Well,
I've heard their name before.
If you wanted to. I like the logo. It's kind of cool. In a kind of way, it is. Shure is great anyway. Let's face it. Our opinion about Shure is very clear. Their mics are good. I use one most weeks for the show, and not this week. All their mics are great. They kind of have a sense of humor about destroying things, and they have those like kind of series of videos as well, which is cool.
Yep, and their online content's generally quite good. So
yeah, we like Shure.
What about Snow? Do you know Snow Patrol, Jay?
Yeah. I did a class a few weeks ago, and we did a cover of Chasing Cars. 30 kids with drum kits, bass guitars, and acoustic guitars. It was pretty good, but that song brings shudder to me. But, yeah, they're not bad. Not bad. We have a few Shure mics here. If you're a fan of Shure, get down here and do some recording. You can use some Shure mics.
Yay! That is the weakest sale ever. Nice work there. But heading from things that have died to a medium that is in the process of dying, but in the most elongated way possible. Radio in an online age, made tangible. Who is Scoob, Sam?
Scoob, well, this is a collaboration between a whole bunch of people, including the dude from Sound Plus Design, who we've interviewed in the past and stuff, whose name I can't see in front of me, so I'm not saying.
It's a design experiment from Copenhagen.
That is what Scoob is, yeah. Scoob is not a who, it is a what, and it's a tangible object, a physical box, which has a speaker inside. It also has an Arduino in there, and a XB communications thing, and you can have a whole bunch of them, which will create a wireless mesh network thing. They don't run standalone. You have to link to your computer. They're currently doing that through Max MSP and other stuff and processing to get the Arduinos in.
So basically everything cool about what you've just said is actually happening on the Mac that you have attached to it.
The sound comes out of the box. And you don't have to touch the Mac in order to play with it. So
I just wanted to be clear about that. That was my question.
Yeah.
But that is cool. Yeah. And we do like Sound Plus Design. They're cool guys. We like
and the
guy.
Radio side of that is that it's
Andrew Spitz.
Andrew Spitz, yep, that's it.
That's the name of the Sound Plus Design guy, Andrew Spitz.
Yep.
It's cool. So they have a Vimeo video, which is always nice. It's nice when people go Vimeo rather than YouTube, isn't it? It kind of says a lot about the person, I think. I'm not sure what it says, but it says something. They're more produced, more quality about them. Anyway, so this was a real story before I started talking about it. So they're part of the Internet of Things.
The Internet of Things. Yeah, that's when you have things connected to the Internet.
I love that. That's like the buzzword that means nothing. It's fantastic. Internet of Things. As opposed to the previous Internet of
Computers.
Computers. Is that what it was? Which aren't things. They're not things. They're computers.
Yeah.
It's tricky to know what the definitions are. So that's cool. Anyway, so they look cool. There's a cool video. They're kind of fun. I suspect that lots of the cool stuff is happening on the computer plugged into them. So this is a thing you could have plugged into your computer that you already have, which probably does most of it already.
Yeah.
Cool. I see some problems, but I see a good prototype as well. So, this insightful commentary comes to you courtesy of the Audio Podcast. Don't forget, you can, we're on Twitter at the Audio Podcast if you'd like to complain about the coverage of this story. On Facebook, Google+, and obviously on the website as well, theaudiopodcast.co.uk. And incidentally, this week, for the first time ever, if you do a Google search for the audio space podcast, we're there. We're there, number one.
Finally topped the Google rankings for the Audio Podcast. We are, yeah. You always find us with one word because that's the URL, but even if you just type the Audio Podcast with caps.
I really hope there's people out there now just hammering away on the Google search there to see it. Remember, if you do that search, if you then click on our link, that actually helps to reinforce it, which is nice. And we're not soliciting for advertising here, so that's fine. That's perfectly good. We can do that. Yes, Jay,
I think I'm going to go and spread the word on that one for you. So I will go and do that now. But thanks very much. We look forward to listening to a few more of these.
See you later, Jay. Bye.
Have a good show.
Bye.
So Jay has left us. Obviously, he couldn't cope with the level of insight we were offering there. It's just unbelievable. Let's keep on going.
Let's keep on going, bearing in mind that from this point in the show, Google could have glitched out with the Hangout recording, and we might have to redo from this point on, but we hopefully will not. And move now on to the second iOS story related to Propellerhead and Reason. Now, this is a new app, not from Propellerhead. It's from Delora, whoever they may be.
This is cool.
And yeah, this brings all the functionality of the mixer and the master section in Reason onto your iPad so that you can have your screen full of rack and sequencer and not have to switch constantly on your monitor, as well as presumably giving you all the multi-touch benefits of having a physical screen that you can touch.
That's really cool, isn't it? I like that. I think that's a cool kind of option. I was thinking about these kind of things, actually, because everybody's making them, aren't they? And they are cool. And obviously the multi-touch gesture is kind of nice. But then I was thinking, previously, this is the kind of stuff I might have done with like a hardware control surface and that sort of stuff. And I do wonder whether I still prefer that hardware control surface. And a second monitor. You could have two monitors, one showing it and a hardware surface corresponding to it. But then, everybody has an iPad. Maybe you don't want to buy a second monitor. Maybe you don't have a control surface. The iPad obviously works on multiple things. These apps are kind of supported in. They're wireless and that sort of stuff. So I do think this stuff is kind of cool, and I'm kind of enjoying it. And I'm completely sold on the idea of these remote apps and kind of live sound situations in terms of monitor mixing and things like that. So I'm completely sold on that.
Do you know how it's working technologically-wise? Like, do you know how it's controlling?
No, how is it working technologically?
MIDI.
Nice.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Either via wired MIDI, if your iPad has something that gives it that, or through the wireless MIDI stuff. That's the way it's going to work.
Well, I always forget this, but these people implementing MIDI are okay at the moment, aren't they? Because MIDI is due to be retired in 2116 or something, isn't it?
Is that what it was? 2116?
It's some date like that. So you're good. MIDI's a good choice right now. You can go for MIDI for another 100 years. It's a great choice. It's fantastic stuff. Actual fact, I meant to mention this, but last week I was away in Slovenia at the International Computer Music Conference presenting a paper. It was kind of fun. If you use Macs a lot, then if you go and find my paper, it shows you how to crash it, which is kind of fun. It's nice to contribute, hopefully. But there was actually somebody talking about these, like these kind of remote apps and the kind of creative uses that can be done there in the proceedings. The proceedings are all online as a PDF, so if you're kind of interested in the more academic kind of, analysis of these things, then you could go read that paper. It might be fun.
It might be.
ICMC was fun, by the way. I had a great time there. Slovenia is a place to go visit. The capital, Ljubljana, is cool as well.
That's how it's pronounced, is it?
I ain't a clue. That's why I was hoping that people would imagine that the internet broke while I said it, so that'd be fine. Yeah. See, every time I try and say it, it just breaks.
Do you have some kind of muscle control problem there? Let's bring us on to the next story.
Oh, wow, another story. This is fantastic stuff. So, X-Sense.
You said it correctly, well done. That's this X-Sense, yeah, or XS if you can't really say that, but not temp sense. They're very clear about that on their webpage.
This is cool.
Yep, this is something that I noticed when it was announced that it had won something or other earlier in the year.
This is great, insightful commentary here. Won some award.
I linked to the award. It doesn't just say it.
And the use of the word thingy. I'm saying, if anybody was questioning our journalistic integrity, it's clear today. It's clear. Straight up. Okay, cool. Anyway, tell me about X-Sense.
It has a hardware part where you strap things to your body. These connect to a software part, which is all implemented through PD.
Okay.
And all of the software side of it is now available to download. That's what's new. That's the news story here.
Very cool.
And it amplifies the muscle movements.
Okay.
And then you use... So a lot of sensor stuff is like accelerometer based, basically, isn't it? So
yeah, of course, yeah. I get it.
Whereas this is actually tuning into the biological electroness stuff. Yeah, journalistic integrity is not really my thing, is it?
No, I think it's fine. I think it's really cool.
This is my understanding of this thing that I've not used, but I'm quite interested in as a conceptual thing.
So it was named the world's most innovative musical instrument by Georgia Georgia Tech.
That's the thing I was talking about, yeah.
So that's some quality journalistic input there. It's awesome.
It does look pretty cool. There's plenty of videos, and people should just go follow through the show notes to find it and have a look for themselves. And if you would want to use it, you can, because everything's been released under the GPL version free license. So
cool.
There you go. And you can purchase the hardware side of it can be purchased as a DIY kit as well.
That's awesome stuff. So it's built inside, the software operates inside PD.
Yep.
So you don't even need a copy of Macs, you can use it in PD, and it has extensions inside it which will allow you to communicate out from there with either MIDI or OSC. Yep. So that's pretty awesome. So this is like a, it's kind of nice and open. It's an open and free kind of thing, which is cool. I like that a lot. And that brings us to the end of the news, and I believe there is no other section. I'm so happy with the way we titled that. And there's no plunder either this week because things have just been chaotic. So, but that's just how it's been. Things will be restored back to their normal operation, as we've promised before, next week. I'm due to have my internet connection working, and things will be organized once more.
I again don't know where I will be next week.
No, but that's fine. It's nice to have these adventures. We've got a couple of exciting interviews lined up, but we haven't fully booked them yet, so and there might be a guest next week, or if not, there'll be we will know when the guests are going to be. Where you've got some kind of cool interviews coming up, about how to do live coding in a browser, which I think would be cool. Also, somebody who's in the process of attaching lots of really big, old, expensive analog synths to a kind of website, so you can submit MIDI files and it plays them back and get them as audio. So that's kind of cool as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to commit to anything, but kind of give teasers as to what we are going to have, which is kind of nice. Which would be cool. I think at this point, Sam, it's appropriate I'd like to say hello to all of the new music tech students who will be starting off because the academic term in the UK is beginning. So, for those people in, Huddersfield, Manchester, Leeds, Scarborough, and other places, see you soon, I'll say. But for everybody else, if you're starting your studies, and don't forget, there's a lot more to university than studying hard. Was that an appropriately helpful remark? And you should definitely check out the audio podcast because it's a lot of fun here. Yeah, it's been cool, isn't it? It kind of feels weird that Adam isn't here, actually.
It kind of feels weird that
I'm here. That you're here and that I'm here at the same time. That feels weird as well.
There's a lot of weird things about show 70, and I'm sure that show 71 will be just as weird.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Okay, so this was show 70 of the audio podcast. We gave it a title. What was the title of the show? I don't remember. Oh, interview an original crew. Thank you very much to Jay Stannard for hanging out with us earlier on for that. That's cool. I've been Scott Hewitt.
I'm Samuel Freeman.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.